newly sown. They told her hide to shrink away, to dim the light of their own day. But love's a force that can't be tamed, a sacred fire brightly flamed. Oh, LGBTQIA, we stand with you through every challenge, every view. Our hearts are open, strong and true. Our love's a shield for me and you. They build a wall across the divide, with hateful rhetoric and nowhere to hide. But every soul deserves to feel a love that's honest, true and real. The headlines shout, the posters tear, a heavy burden they must bear. They're fighting battles day by day against the bills that take away their right to marry, their right to be in a land that claims to be so free. Just human hearts with human needs, planting the most resilient seeds. Oh, LGBTQI, we stand with you through every challenge, every view. Our hearts are open, strong and true. Our love's a shield for me and you. They build a wall across the divide, with hateful rhetoric and nowhere to hide. But every soul deserves to feel a love that's honest, true and real. From history's pages etched in time, a struggle for a life sublime, for justice, dignity and grace, a hallowed and a sacred place. The fight for rights, for peace, for pride, against the tide, with love as their guide. LGBTQI, we stand with you through every challenge, every view. Our hearts are open, strong and true. Our love's a shield for me and you. They build a wall across the divide, with hateful rhetoric and nowhere to hide. But every soul deserves to feel a love that's honest, true and real. We're here for you, we see your light. We'll walk together day and night, with love and hope we'll rise above, united in a bond of love.
Well, hello everyone. This is Mama Warrior. I'm coming to you tonight at 6:32 p.m. on 9/13/2025. I'm coming to you, first of all, to thank you guys that are going to show up, and thank you guys who may be in the bushes to listen tonight. I appreciate it. And I just have a few things on my mind, and it does concern the LGBTQAI plus and transgenders. Let me first give a personal summary of my feelings. That community is people. They are human beings. Transgenders are people. They are human beings. Within my own family, I have quite a few family members that is part of the community. I love them and I care about them. And if you have a heart that you love and care about those within your own family, then how is it that you can't find love and care for all the other people in the community? And my summary tonight is going to be about transgender community under siege. A summary of feelings amidst political attacks. There's a lot of political attacks going on. But let me go back and cover this to first because I don't want to express something that feels as though, I'm saying that what the tragedy that happened was, needed to happen. No, I'm going to say rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, regardless of his views and his rhetoric. And I'm also going to send love and prayers and healing to Charlie Kirk's wife and to children and his family and his friends. So there is really no reason in this world for anyone to be unalive, period. So I just wanted to get that out of the way before I go into this conversation. Some of your feelings in this political attack. Now, there's a pervasive climate of fear, I would say, anxiety and exhaustion in gripping the transgender community in the United States today. They face an unprecedented wave of political attacks targeting their existence and their rights. A deluge of anti-transgender legislation, coupled with inflammatory rhetoric from political figures, has created a deeply hostile environment, leaving many feeling like they are under siege. This political onslaught and what is going on is having a significant detrimental impact on the mental and emotional well-being of transgender individuals. And it's definitely leading to a spike in mental health crisis while also galvanizing a spirit of defiance and resilience. These legislative attacks are multifaceted, aiming to restrict nearly every aspect of transgender life. States across the country have seen a surge in bills seeking to ban or severely limit access to gender affirming medical care, particularly for the youth. I'm going to buy way into the middle of this. I have some different views when it comes to the youth. I'll explain exactly what I feel, my opinion. When you become a legal adult, I think you have the right to do with your life and your body as you wish. But if you are a child or a kid, I don't believe that a lot of this that they want to do should be considered until they are an adult and know this is exactly the direction or life that they want. So I'll just place that in there. That's my personal opinion. That's how I feel. And when it comes to the youth, that's how I feel. If you're an adult, you live your life. You do what you're going to do. And it shouldn't be anything there to stop you from living a fulfillment of life the way you want to live it. I know that there has been a lot of, let me see how I can say this. Okay, I'm going to say a lot of spiritual judgment. I don't take part in that, and I'm going to tell you why I don't. God is the only judger here in this world. We are not told, asked to judge one another according to the Bible. We don't judge each other. We leave that up to God. We don't toss people out of the community. We don't tear down people in the community. This is not godly nor spiritual. Our transgenders are people. Number one, they are people and they are human beings. They bleed red blood like us. Their heart beats like us. They are people. They're not separate from the society. They are a part of the society. And that's my view on that. So as I was saying, the legislative attacks they are multifaceted, aiming to restrict nearly every aspect of transgender life. Across the state, the country has seen a surge in bills seeking to ban or severely limit access to gender-affirming medical care. I think that's a disaster, particularly with the youth, and I spoke about how I feel about the youth. Okay. These measures are not only being debated in state houses, but also It's a central theme in national political discourse, amplifying a sense of constant threat. Beyond healthcare, legislation has targeted the ability of transgender people to even participate in sports, use public restrooms that align with their gender identity, and have their pronouns and chosen names respected in schools. This has created a reality where the simple act of living authentically is being criminalized and debated in public forums. The emotional toll of this relentless political pressure is immense. Studies and reports from mental health organizations paint a grim picture showing a significant increase in anxiety, depression, how should I say this? Suicidal ideation among transgender and non-binary youth and adults. This we know, this we see, this we understand. The constant barrage of negative messaging, which often frames transgender identity as a threat or delusion, contributes to the feelings of isolation, hopelessness, and worthlessness. Personal accounts from within the community reveal a deep sense of being constantly watched, judged. What did I say? We don't judge one another. We're not supposed to be doing that. And endangered. Many express a feeling of survivor's guilt among those who have been able to access care before new restrictions were imposed, alongside a profound fear of the well-being of younger generations. And this medical part or medications, if they are banned and the patient has started taking medication, and all of a sudden it's banned and it's not available to you, we will have more health crises on our hands because there could be what's the word I'm looking for? There could be many other health problems. Their health could get worse, or they could possibly just have a withdrawal from not being able to get their medication. So it's a lot drawn in between here. And many express a feeling of survivor's guilt among those who have been able to access care before new restrictions were imposed, alongside a profound fear of well-being of younger generations as well. So for many transgender individuals, the political climate has transformed their daily lives into a landscape of fear and hypervigilance. The fear of the harassment of violence in public spaces is a constant companion, which they began with, was here from the beginning. And, it seems that they have survived that. They've gotten to the point where they are trying their best to survive that. Now here we go with this political climate coming against them again. The political climate has transferred their daily lives into a landscape of fear and hypervigilance. The fear of harassment or violence in public spaces is a constant companion. Simple errands and social outings can become fraught with anxiety. Parents, I'm an aunt and a cousin to a transgender, and I worry and pray for them all the time because of the danger and things that are possible from this evil, negative world. So I do understand that. Simple errands and social outings can become fraught with anxiety. Parents of transgender children speak of a constant worry for their children's safety and well-being, with some families making a difficult decision to have to relocate to a more affirming state. But despite the overwhelming challenges, the transgender community is responding with remarkable resilience and a strengthened resolve to fight for their rights, which they should. A powerful sense of community and mutual support is a crucial lifeline. Online forums, local support groups, and national advocacy organizations, they are working tirelessly to provide resources, share information, and create spaces of solidarity. This period of intense political attack, though, has also ignited a surge in activism. Transgender people and their allies are organizing protests, they're testifying at legislative hearings, they're engaging in voter registration drives, they are increasingly visible in the media, sharing their personal stories to humanize the issue and counter the misinformation being spread. This activism is not just about resisting discriminatory laws. It is also a powerful assertion of their existence and their right to live with dignity and respect. And I think we all want to live with that dignity and respect. In essence, the transgender community today is experiencing a painful paradox. They're being targeted, vilified, and harmed by a coordinated political campaign, leading to widespread fear and mental health challenges. Yet this very adversity is also fostering a powerful sense of unity and defiance, and a determination to be a race. The overwhelming feeling is one of struggle, but it is a struggle met with an unwavering commitment. You know, they've even went as far to try to remove the LGBTQIA community and transgenders out of the military, which to me doesn't make much sense. Here is an individual, a human being, who was willing to go and fight for their country and did indeed become great soldiers and warriors in our war. And then now you're being told because you live a certain way or you've chosen a certain life, you have no right of being part of the military. I found that very disgusting. And I hope that that will change in the future to come. Survival community and the fight for a more just and inclusive future. And you know, I made a note of this while speaking about this. You know, I asked myself a question, just like slavery, why is one group of culture or people, communities, always victimized by our political establishment? Example, as I said, immigrants, LGBTQAI+, transgenders, different cultures and different national people all have to be victimized, separated. People are against them. And this is what we do in this world. And it's crazy. It's just crazy. And it appears to be the same thing that's going on here. That is a profound historical astute question. Now, here's a breakdown of why this happened, drawing on the example that I just mentioned to you. See, there's one thing called the power of the other, scapegoating. The most fundamental reason is the creation of a us versus them narrative. Politicians can unite a majority group, the us, by identifying a minority group, the them, as a threat to their safety, prosperity, and way of life. This is how it works. This othering process involves portraying the targeted group as fundamentally different, dangerous, or morally inferior. It simplifies complex social problems into a simple story with a clear villain. For example, we just talked about this, immigrants. Instead of addressing complex economic issues like wage stagnation and automation, it's politically easier to claim that immigrants are taking jobs and bringing crime, and that's ridiculous. Let's go back to our Black people. Let's not forget this. During slavery and Jim Crow, a brutal system of economic exploitation was justified by creating a racial ideology that dehumanized Black people and portrayed them as a threat to social order. Transgender people, today in a time of rapid social change, transgender individuals are being framed as a threat to children, women's sports, traditional family structures. This is manufactured through threats and is used to energize a political base. Economic anxiety and distraction. When a large segment of the population feels economically insecure or left behind, they become highly receptive to scapegoating. It is far easier to blame a vulnerable group for economic hardship than to challenge powerful systems or corporations. See, a politician can distract from their failure to address real economic problems like healthcare costs inflation, or lack of good jobs by focusing the public's anger on a specific scapegoat. The targeted group becomes the convenient release valve for public frustration. For instance, the homeless is often blamed for urban decay or crime, which distracts from root causes like the lack of affordable housing, inadequate mental health care, and wage inequality. But see, it's politically safer to pass laws criminalizing homelessness than to find or fund the systematic solutions required. Then there's consolidation of power and social. Targeting a group is a way for a political establishment to reinforce existing social hierarchies and maintain its group on power by defining who's normal, who's acceptable. They also define who is not. So you see, laws and rhetoric against minority groups send a clear message to the majority. We are on your side. We will protect your values and your status. This solidizes a voting bloc and reinforces the idea that the existing power structure is natural and correct. The other thing is the entire institution of slavery was a system of absolute social economic control. It wasn't just about prejudice. It was about maintaining a rigid racial economic hierarchy that benefited the white landowning class. This pattern continued through Jim Crow law. In modern politics, these topics are often used as wedge issues. They are deliberately chosen, highly emotional and controversial topics, used to split an opposing party coalition or energize one's own. Now, this is how this works. A politician will introduce an anti-trans bill, for example. They know it will force their opponents to defend transgender rights. This allows them to paint their opponents as radical or out of touch to socially conservative voters, even if those voters might agree with the opponents on economic issues. It's a tool to fracture coalitions. Before transgender rights, same-sex marriages was the wedge issue of the early 2000s, as we know. Before that, it was abortion, and before that, it was civil rights. The issues changed, but the strategy of using a vulnerable group's rights as a political football, that does not change. Moral panics and resistance to social change. Society is always changing. Change can be frightening for some people. Astute political actors can exploit this fear of change by creating a moral panic. And this is how they do that. A moral panic occurs when a group is identified as a threat to societal values and norms. The threat is often wildly exaggerated through media and political rhetoric, leading to widespread fear and calls for action, usually in the form of restrictive law. And here's another example. The current focus on transgender people is a classic moral panic. It's a small, vulnerable minority that's being portrayed as powerful and cigarette force intent on grooming children or destroying the family. This narrative is little basis in reality, but it's incredibly effective at mobilizing people who are anxious about shifts in cultural norms around gender and sexuality. Hence, some of our Christians today, or some of our spiritual people who we are finding are more spiritual than ever than what we first known. So I don't have to call any names. We know the political climate. We know what's being used as an agenda now. I'll just put it that way. So the victimization of groups like the ones you mentioned, this is not an accident. It's a feature of a political strategy that relies on fear, division, and scapegoating. The target is chosen based on its vulnerability. The ideal target is a group that is small enough that it lacks significant political power, is misunderstood by the general public, and can be easily misrepresented as a threat. Immigrants, the homeless, Black people, and now transgender people all fit this pattern at different points in history. They're used as pawns in a larger political game. to distract, divide, and consolidate power. So as you see, the core reason this tactic is repeated is tragically simple. It actually works. It works until we fight back. It works until we oppose what they are saying about us. Because at any given time, there's any group of people, any race of people, any culture of people can start to be victimized like the transgenders are being victimized right now, like the immigrants are being victimized right now. And unfortunately, some people would disagree, but I'll say even in our Black communities and Black people, we are still being victimized and ostrated and what have you in the U.S. and around the world. Different countries are also experiencing these kind of things. And politically, I just think it's just so very unfair. It's being done to run an agenda, to isolate people, to make people feel ashamed of their lives, and they'll hang their head down and feel embarrassed about their life and who they love and who they want to be with. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. In my personal opinion, I don't like it. I see where this is going, and it's not good. It's not good. And I think it's something that we should indeed be aware of. I do support the LGBTQIA plus community, and I do support transgenders. But like I said, there is a line between the youth and the adults that live this life. The youth, unfortunately, we have to deal with that. They're choosing their lifestyles as well. But I do think that there is a consideration that should be made as far as when they're allowed to decide to change themselves to however they want to change themselves. Make sure that they are definitely mature enough to make that decision, and because it will change the rest of their lives, and it's a very serious decision. And as I said, spiritually, I don't get into judgment of people. I myself, I am not perfect. I am not 100%. I'm not here telling people who's going to hell and who's going to heaven. Who knows? That's up to God. That's not even up to us. Those that we think are going to heaven probably won't end up there. Those we think that are going to hell will probably end up in heaven. That's how I look at it, because that is the way life is. And only God, our Jesus Father in Christ, can decide where people are going to go in their afterlife and what they're going to be punished for, if they're going to be punished. That's not for us to decide. We're to live down here as a community, a society, and try to love, respect, and treat each other with dignity. No matter who we are, no matter what lifestyle we live, no matter what lifestyle we choose, we are human beings. We are to love and support one another. Now, some of you may say, oh my God, this is boring. I don't find it boring at all. I'm sorry, I don't find that boring at all. I think it's very important. If we don't get this situation together, we're going to have some very detrimental situations here in life. There's going to be wars, fortunately, more unaliving and what have you. And we have got to find love and unity in this world in order to survive it. Because the rate we're going, this is going to turn into something very chaotic that neither one of us want to face. So that's just my little opinion that I had. Want to express my feelings. And like I said, this is no pun to Charles Kirk. That man deserved his life. He did not deserve to be unalive because he has a different rhetoric or he has a different view or what have you. We all have different views and opinions, and neither one of us deserve to be unalive for that. We make speeches, we talk. I'm talking now because of free speech. And I'm trying to be mindful and sensitive and understanding to all people. And like I said, rest in peace, Charles Kirk. He didn't deserve that. No one who has been unalive deserves that. And I just want to mention two names that seem to be at the top of my head. Like George Floyd, he didn't deserve that. Sandra Massey, she didn't deserve that. And many, many others. Because others are unalived as well in this world. And we need to have that same feeling, that same sadness for anyone, absolutely anyone that is on. Absolutely. So I'm going to leave you with a song that I created just for this subject matter and for the world. And I'm going to end this live, but I will be back with another subject matter. And like I said, thank you for listening. For those that showed up or for those that are in the bush or what have you, thank you for listening. And if you didn't get a chance to listen, you know, you can always do a replay. You can find me on Mama Warrior, DG Fox, as I have up here. And you can find a lot of my YouTube videos that I have done. Haven't been live in a while, so I'm starting to come live and talk a little bit more. I sort of shied away from that because I sort of like more of the musical expression. I came to like that. Right. So I'm going to end this and I'm going to play this last song for you. And once again, I'm going to say thank you. God bless you all. Bless you all. I love you all. I love people, period. And I only come with a positive note. I always try to come with a positive note. So I'm going to end this live. I'm going to say good evening, good morning, good afternoon to you, wherever you are. And I'm going to play this song as I leave out. Okay, I'm going to say see you now. I never say goodbye. I always say see you. All right.
In a world of shades and whispered doubts, a vibrant spectrum shining out. But laws are passed and words are thrown, a bitter harvest newly sown. They're told to hide or shrink away, to dim the light of their own day. But love's a force that can't be tamed, a sacred fire brightly flamed. Oh, LGBTQ, always stand with you through every challenge, every view. Our hearts are open, strong and true. Our love's a shield for me and you. They build a wall across the divide with hateful rhetoric and nowhere to hide. But every soul deserves to feel a love that's honest, true and real. The headlines shout, the posters tear, a heavy burden they must bear. They're fighting battles day by day against the bills that take away their right to marry, their right to be in a land that claims to be so free. Just human hearts with human needs, planting the most resilient seeds. LGBTQ, we stand with you through every challenge, every view. Our hearts are open, strong and true. Our love's a shield for me and you. They build a wall across the divide with hateful rhetoric we see your light, we'll walk together day and night. With love and hope we'll rise above, united in a bond of love.